Hi, my name is Joanna, and today I come to talk about who can have a depression and physical symptoms. I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist by training. 20 years ago, I was diagnosed as depressive bipolar, but I have been having depressive and hypomanic episodes since I was 15 years old, so for the last 32 years. The only information I can bring is gained from my own experience or through scientific research. I believe that any person can have a depression at any point of their lives, regardless if there is a genetic predisposition for it or not. In my specific case, it's a mix. Depression and bipolarity have been present in my family for at least 3 generations. However, in my childhood and adolescence, there were events that marked me deeply and were not properly addressed at the time. And that brought consequences with the passing of the years. But trauma we all have or can have through our lives. So I think that anyone can have a depression at any point of their lives. On the other hand, us human beings, we live in a body, and a body is a fantastic, marvelous instrument, which, as any instrument, can suffer a physical damage and can stop playing or start playing out of tune. So once again, I think that this can happen to anyone. Something bothered me 25 years ago or even longer. It was when some people would comment that only weak people have depression. People with depression were crazy or are crazy. That everything is in our head and in our imagination. And what was more upsetting is that the voice that spoke louder, it was my voice. I believe that. I was the first one saying that to myself and criticizing and diminishing me. I can tell you right now that that is not true. I realized that people who have depression, they are brave, they are resilient, and in no shape or form they are weak. Depression presents emotional and physical symptoms. Through my life, I met many people with depression. Almost all of us have sleep disorders. Some sleep too little, some sleep too much, and the sleep quality is bad. In my case, without medication, in my depressive state, I sleep 16 hours a day, and every 2 or 3 days I sleep 24 hours in a row. It's important to stress that these sleep disorders can be as short as weeks, months, or as long as years. And I can assure you, by my experience and other depressive people that I met, that practicing a profession or studying in any of these situations is very complicated. Another symptom, quite common, is muscle tension and pain. It is also common to have a weakened immune system while having depression, which makes us more prone to any type of illness or disease. I also have headaches, lack of concentration, and memory loss. Since I was 18, when I had a very big very deep depression. I have difficulty remembering daily tasks and memorizing. I study mathematics at university, and it was really very difficult because I could hardly memorize the formulas and theorems to pass the exams. And I always carry my notebook around me because I need to note down everything I have to do during the day. I also notice difference in my speech. When I'm starting getting depressed, I speak slower, I forget words, I pause frequently between sentences. I also avoid driving. It's for me it's hard to distinguish the edges and measure distance. For instance, for the same reason, I also have some difficulty to go downstairs. It's difficult for me to see where the step finishes, where it's the edge of the step. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to keep my balance, and I end up going against objects like doors and tables, and I get quite a lot of bruises. It's necessary to understand that when we are depressed, there are physical consequences. Our body, our beautiful instrument, is damaged, and as such, it does not work properly. For the curious viewers, I recommend a quick search in some scientific publications. You can use a PubMed, a repository is a quite good one, and I will leave the link in the description of the video. So this way you can have a wider view about physical symptoms of depression. In another video, I will talk a little about emotional symptoms of depression. If you have any questions or would like more details, please write it down in the comments and I will try to address them in future videos. You can also send me an email to bipolarchats2023@gmail.com if you feel more comfortable and do not want to leave a comment. I hope I brought you useful information and that somehow I helped